Hello everyone, this is Kizku. Going to make a quick spontaneous video today, a little more on the technical side. I've had a few problems with visitors again as of recently, and one of them made it into the base. I noticed outside quite the number of nether portals. I think right through this wall I found one, and then I went inside of it and I found a number of other previous nether portals that had been torn down, so someone was very desperate to get inside of here. But to be honest, I didn't really have a difficult way to get in here. There was actually a very easy way if someone had the time to mine around the base. And somebody did find it, and they got in. They took, I wouldn't say a lot of valuable stuff. They took a lot of junk, and then the only valuable thing that they had taken was in this chest. It's currently empty, but they had left the redstone and some random stuff inside of here. And what was in here was about 200 diamonds, about 70 gold, I'd say, of several stacks of iron, coal, and the such. And then they had taken the usual things out of these chests, like the nether warts and blaze rods, and some other random such, like buckets. You'll notice that I actually have some stuff back if you're the person who had raided me. And you also notice a lot of stuff is missing. That's because I moved a lot of the possessions into my other location. And I do have another location somewhere that I store a lot of the stuff that I can't entirely fit into my ender chest. So I do have a couple double chests somewhere in the world. But today's video is going to have to do with how I'm going to be storing these inside of my base, or at least in close proximity, because it's kind of inconvenient to go collect my goods whenever I need them. And I would rather not have to deal with people raiding me all the time. So what I'm hoping to do is build a vault. If not in this episode, probably in the next episode. And the next episode will probably be a little bit busy. I suspect I'll be building the vault and finally connecting the piping to the cave spiders. A little bit on that. You can see down below I've had the floor. I'm trying to work out a water pattern that I actually like. And over here I have a staircase somewhat built. You see it wraps around, and then you have a nice view in two directions of the exit. I had to do some tweaking with the wiring because I wanted to get the timing. So actually, just let me turn it on. I had to get the timing so that when the water is flowing through the pistons, it has the longest period of time to be able to push the cave spiders out into the channel. And why isn't this starting? Let me check. Let me try boot. Oh, that's a good reason. There we go. I want it to be down. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, not much tweaking down here per se, and not much going on in here. And you can see in the back I was experimenting with some designs for mining obsidian, and you can see I've been outside also mining quite a bit, so I have a hole in my wall right there. Let me head upstairs. I put these stairs in like this, a wraparound, and what I think I'm going to do for the stairs is I'm going to bust out the wall along the side and replace it with glass, so that way when you're climbing this you can look into the spawner and see them dropping. And then I'll probably put a ridge on the inside so that they can't climb the walls if someone were descending or ascending the stairs, because that might be slightly problematic. As you can see, for what I was going to show you, I tried to make that piston right there as quick as possible. So let me see. You can see it quickly shoots, and I had to give it a 1 pulse. So I had to do some wiring. I put in a little 1 tick generator right here, so it just quickly energizes redstone wiring right here, so where it only gets one tick, and that keeps the piston as fast as I can possibly get it. And then as the elevator would push them into this position, they can fall into another stream of water that would help push them into the channel. And then the channel will probably just take them right over here, and I'll probably have water for just this little last part. And up here is going to be where they're going to be collecting and be crushed with the timer. So that's that, and you can see the stairwell. I'm rather satisfied with it. I haven't really decided on my entire design of this yet because I have a lot of ideas, too many ideas on how I'd like to approach this. Let me turn this off now. It does lag me a little bit just because it's very intensive with the block movements, but that's because I'm running an ancient machine. So that turns it off. I'll probably be running this up into the top segment so that I can just turn it off or on up there. And so when I turn it off, this piston will come down and shut it off. And when I turn it on, this piston will close back into the timer right there, the clock, and then it'll power it back on. So that's how that'll work. As for what else I'm hoping to do, just off the top of my head, I'd like to continue the pyramid, so I'm going to need a lot of obsidian. As you can see, the pyramid only goes to there, and it has the possibility in the protection to actually go all the way down in a diagonal, so it has plenty of room to travel. And what I want to do with that is I want to have 3 doorways. I want to have a way to get into the outside perimeter. This will be the inner perimeter, I suppose. So there'll be a door to get into the outside, and then a door to get into here, and then upstairs will be, just more of like my base, my laboratory, or whatever you want to call it, my grinder and everything like that. And then I'll have the vault, which will most likely be in the top of the triangle. So the very top of the pyramid, like on a 3rd floor, or probably my 2nd floor actually. I was going to put a 2nd floor up there. I'll probably be able to fit it in, and it's going to be kind of tight, but it'll be fun. But what I want to do for down here is I want to knock out some wall at some point and have a doorway to get in here and to go out into the outside of this inner cloister, I guess you could say. And within that part of the pyramid, I would have vegetation, trees. It would be kind of like a little forest, and lots of greenery, because I like greenness, and it's kind of drab in here. So I'll be able to go out there. I might even put some glass in for these so I can actually look out, or I may have a wraparound so that I can walk around the outside and look down upon the greenery, but I haven't really decided on how I want to do that. But that'll be something to look forward to in the future, probably in a few episodes once I get tired of working in here and get everything set up, mainly the vault and the spawner and like the basics of a base upstairs. So that's that. Now, what I'm going to be doing for the vault, I had to look on the rules of the server to be able to determine what was within the realm of the rules for building a combination lock, because if anything, I wanted to build a combination lock, and I actually had a lot of fun building a combination lock, a unique one that I would use, and I'm going to show that to you in creative, but I think it should fall within the rules because the lock itself, I think it was 4 by 4, so you could have 4 switches and up to 4 digit combinations and up to 3 locks if you wanted to use 3 locks within your base. And I'll need to check with Vertith on that because that gives me the impression that you can have 3 doorways with 3 codes. Like you could have an outer one with a code, you could have an inner one with a code, and then you could have a vault with a code, and that'd be a hell of a lot to get through to be able to raid you. But I don't think I'm going to make it that hard to be able to actually, maybe just to get into like my base area, but I don't think I'm going to be too stringent on letting people in here a little bit later. Actually, what I'm thinking of doing is having ways for people to come in here and just like view things, or even possibly use the mob machine once they have it worked out. So it'll be like a public area that people can come in here and use this. And then, just a second to make a quick edit. Alright, sorry about that. What I'm thinking about is actually, yeah, having a way for people to come in here and maybe even look at stuff or use stuff. Like, they could come in a public entrance in a way, and it would take them around like the inside so they could look at all the foliage and enjoy the inside, looking at like the cave spider spawner and the other machines that I'm planning to build in here. And they would be with outside probably a double wall, so they couldn't easily just like break through and get into my base. But they could look around and have fun, or even have access to some of the things. I wanted to hook up the some of the mechanisms so people could actually just use them freely. And what I'm also thinking of doing is for the people who want to break into the base, I have these spawners, and I have another cave spider spawner. I think it's over here outside, and I have a zombie spawner very close to my perimeter down there near bedrock. And if I'm going to have a means to get in here where you have to like earn it, I'll probably be using those. And what I would like to do with the cave spider spawners in here too is I would like it if I could somehow work these into being part of an obstacle for the people coming in here. Like, what if you failed a code? You would get dropped down into the cave spider spawner area with the water running all over the place, and it would be very difficult, and the lights would automatically turn off. And then it would be difficult to necessarily home or like teleport away because you'd be moving around with the water and you'd have to be fighting spiders. So it'd be kind of a fun way to have an obstacle, but I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to be able to manage. That's a lot of work to be able to divert the spiders, like either outside of here or have something come in here to where what I'll most likely have is somewhere where like if you fail the inner code, you'll get thrown into the cave spider spawner pit right here by water. So it'll like drop in and it'll throw you in here, and then you'll have to contend with those, and that's part of your punishment for failing the code. Now I'm going to go to the creative now because I've rambled on enough with all these crazy ideas of what I'm going to be doing in here. But it's just the possibilities for how I'm going to be making this place are limited, and I think it's going to be very interesting once I've had the time to actually do it all. So go to creative now. Let's see, disconnect, single player, new world, creative. Alright, so this is what I wanted to show you, but I'll get to this in a second actually. So that wasn't what I wanted to show you right away. I've been working on combination locks and a lot of other little things. Those are mostly traps over there. But at first I started off with, the simple kind of a combination lock, and this one wasn't actually going to be functional because it's too tightly compact right here. But pretty much what's going on here is, as you can see, glass is pushing around. It's even getting stuck a little bit. I'm not sure why. Oh well, whatever. It's because I knocked out a piece right here. Okay, so oh well, I jacked this up. That's why I used obsidian in the other one. So okay, well this one's a fail anyways, so I'm just going to move on to the one that makes a little more sense. Okay, so this is pretty much this, but it's only one layer. And you could have these every 2 layers so they don't actually interact with each other. And pretty much what's going on here is you could have a wire run through, but it has to hit the gold block before it continues on. And then you could have kind of like a combination lock. So you hit the switch a number of times until this gold block is in a location to where it will carry the current. Say if I had it like this, to where it'll carry the current to the other side like that. And if that gold block isn't there, let me just do that. If that gold block isn't there, as you can see, the circuit fails. Now, what I was going to build upon that was, you can see it kind of turned into this now. And this was a larger endeavor, and also how I was kind of planning to build my vault. This is just an idea what it might look like. The actual, oh shit, damn bat. Okay, yeah, you better get out, or whatever. Okay, so this is an idea of what it might look like when you come inside, except for the holes that I just tore in the wall right there. So you're going to be faced with a couple of buttons, and one of a different color. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to be building this yet, but it's mostly going to be 2 buttons and then like a register, like that's your choice button. Now, how this is going to work, there's going to be, of course, a double door that's going to be piston protected of some sort, or I don't know. It's going to be quite a formidable door, so you can't just like ender pearl and glitch through it and everything like that. And I'll try to seal everything around here as much as possible, just so you can't easily get through into the wiring or anything like that. But pretty much, you're going to come in here and you're going to hit a switch. And the switch will probably look like this, in the sense that if you're, once again, standing in here, pretend that the walls are missing. So what you're going to be facing is pretty much, this is a mock, what you're going to be looking at inside of that room, but pretend the walls aren't here. You're going to have to hit a switch of some sort when you come into this room. Or you might even hit the switch automatically with pressure plates. I really haven't decided on how I want to do that yet. But hitting this switch is going to reveal these buttons. I'm going to have these covered up somehow. So you actually have to come into a room, you have to hit a switch, doors will close behind you, this will open up, or what I may also do is these buttons will be exposed, but you have to close the door to be able to use the buttons. So there you go. You could have, I'll have this inverted, but you could have the door close and then the buttons work. So you have to be in the room before you're allowed. And I may even have a delay on this, like I'll somehow attach something to the piston right here to where the piston always drops before this turns on, and this turns off before the piston opens. So the door will be shut. You'll be locked in this room until you've either entered the code correctly and moved on through the doors, or you've got it wrong, which I'll go over in a second, or you decide to hit the switch and wait for a second for this to turn off so you can't use the code anymore, and then the doors will open letting you back out. So those will be the 3 options with that. So that will go inside of here somehow. I'll have a switch so when you come in here you'll get locked in here, and then you'll have your buttons right here. Now how this will work in here is if you get your code wrong, and let me show you. Oh shit, are you kidding me? What the hell happened to my redstone? Okay, that was an interesting glitch. Okay, so let me fix this really quick. I guess I can fix it on the spot. Hopefully that didn't do anything else to my... I was wondering where those buttons went. Okay, that thing seems okay. This one, it's like everything around me got knocked up when I turned... Okay, whatever. Okay, so what will happen here is... let me get buttons out. Let me get, I got redstone, I need repeaters. Okay, so you're going to have a button. You're going to have, it's going to run to the RS NAND latch. So here, right here, we're going to have, I'll have this go into here, and then I'll put my RS NAND latch. Okay, so... And if you're not very familiar with redstone, this will probably look a little bit confusing. Okay, so there's that. And then this is still connected good. And then I'll have this, okay, I'll just have it go like this. And, alright. So, now as for over here, this looks okay, that's okay. And then I'll have over here the AND gate. So, oh. So let me turn this on now. Actually, I'll just do it like this. I like using repeaters when they go into oops. When they go into a block, I prefer repeaters over redstone for some reason. There we go. And let me replace that. And then finally, I'm going to invert this. Okay. So, what's going to happen here is, sorry for that little delay, is if you get it wrong, and I think this all should work. So you have not entered the code. The code is not processing. It's not processing through the combination lock. So that is off. Now what's going to happen if you decide to enter it is you're going to get red. Now what happens if you get red? Well, you're going to die. You're probably going to get crushed to death, and lava is going to come at you, or lots of potions, and maybe a combination of all those things. You're going to die. You're going to die a very horrible death. Or in the example I was using in game, you may get dropped into like a pit, or that would be like an easier lock, like just to get into the base. I'd probably drop you into a pit or a limbo, or something like that, just to be a jerk. But if you're doing for the vault, I'm going to kill you if you get it wrong. And I know that's kind of dickish, but hey, that's the risk you take if you want to steal. So if you get it wrong, you're dead. Now, if you've done the lock is processed. It's going to switch the NAND latch, and ding, you got it right. The door is open. You're in the vault. So, and I'll probably have a private door for myself, a double door of some sort, to where I can just easily go in and out without actually having to use the code, and I'll just lock it up when I'm not there. So it'll be pretty simple that way. So I hope that I hope that made sense to anybody who's not very familiar with the redstone. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see what you're looking at here, and that's pretty much the redstone. So if you need to look at it a little bit. Now this is a very compact form of what I was doing over there. I'm not done with it. Like I would still have to attach that little segment right here, the NAND latch and the gate, over onto this over here, probably somewhere, and I'll probably be adding indicator lights too, but I'll discuss that in a second. For like if you're getting where the gold may be in a position, like there would be a circuit coming through here, and if the gold were passing through that, you'd have a light indicator inside of the booth. Now that's simply because this one is much more complicated. It's very small, but it moves on the Y and X, which is the circle here, and it also moves on the Z and X, which is the circle here. And there's two gold blocks, and you have to get both of them to where they process the signal right here. They complete the circuit. So as you can see, there's one, pushes them around. So let's say we got one of them into the other ring. Okay, so it's in the other ring. We don't want to hit it again. So now we want to move it around like this until we get it. So there. Okay, so that's one of them. Now the thing is we have two of them. So we'd have to rotate this around more until we're able to actually get this in the position to where if we keep rotating the ring, we pretty much want this gold block to be like over here and this gold block to be here, and that way when we rotate it, they'll be in a linear line to the circuit. So you can see that this particular design would be very difficult for how small it is. Very difficult to figure out, especially if you cannot see it. And that's why I'm debating adding a hint, because I think that with the 4444 design, which is pretty much what Vertith, the rules of the server are, that you have to have 4 switches and the 4 code. So that gives you 256 if you do the 4444 multiplication. 256 different options for a code. Now, I haven't done the math on this yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be around there, if not a little bit less or even greater, just because of the complexity of where the blocks could be in relation. Even though it's there's less options than the other ones. Like I think to be able to get the max, it would be 16 and 16, like two next to each other. If I had two rings, but this one it's much smaller. It's like 13, and then what's this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 13 and 10. So they're smaller rings, but it's just the fact that you need to somehow manage to get these two blocks to where they're lined up, and that offers a lot more variables to solving the combination lock. Oh, what's with the weather or whatever. So what I may do is, yeah, I'll have a. Let me turn off the weather again. Okay, so weather, clear, enter. Oh, other way. Clear, weather. Oh, I already got it. I don't know why it said unknown command then. I didn't even notice. So what I may be doing for the fact that actually maybe it's because I was in caps. Weather clear. There we go. Finally. What I may do is have a wire for each side come up somehow. I would say it would be a vertical circuit of some sort, and I'd have to do it so they don't touch any of the pistons. So it's looking like it would probably be through the center. Yeah, it would probably be like one of these, maybe this one. And it would just be an indicator, like if the gold block were in either of these two blocks, you would know because the circuit would be completed. Or something like that. Or maybe I would run circuits left and right here. So if you knew if this were completed, it would give an indicator inside of the booth right there that lets you know that that block is actually there. And then you just have to find the other block, and when you found that one, you'd have to do a lot of math to figure out how many rotations you would actually have to do in both of these rings to be able to get them to where they're going to be linear to the circuit. So I hope you like the design. Of course, the obsidian is to protect me from if someone decides to just punch a whole bunch of the buttons. There's the danger that they're going to push the glass or the blocks outside of the scope, and this way it'll just lock up because pistons can't push obsidian. So I hope you like that design. I was kind of satisfied with that design personally. I think it'll be very difficult. I think the danger involved will be grave, and I think it'll be very frustrating to anybody who decides to pay me a visit once I've set this up. In the meantime, I'll be using my hidden chests for just a little bit longer, but I'm really excited to be able to build this, so I'm probably going to be doing this in the very near future, just because I'm tired of having visitors steal my stuff. So that'll be all for now. I'm probably going to post another video very shortly, but I just wanted to get something out. It's kind of hard to get a video out in midweek, and so I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.